Well, bottom line, it's a really funny movie, but there are serious thoughts in it. And I love to be able to make people laugh and at the same time have them walk out of the theater going, my life has changed forever. In fact, if you go up to the poster at the bus shelters and you just put your hand on my heart, your life will be changed. Good luck will come to you. You'll make money. No, I don't want to go that far, but I do believe, you know, it does make people walk out of the theater going, I think I might want to say yes to a few more things, you know. It's, you know, if people were smart, if you want to sell something, stand out the theater, outside the theater in front of Yes Man and wait for people to come out because they'll be more willing to buy. Insurance salesman, be there. I seem to make it very difficult on myself. I'm sitting in the writer's room and I say, I want to do this, 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 and this. And, you know, I don't even take into account how difficult that's going to be. You know, the learning Korean, I had to learn it phonetically, syllable by syllable, you know, over a 4 or 5 week period of time, and it was so difficult. It was incredibly difficult, and then to have to put the meaning in it, that was a hard thing. And the language coach was very terrified because he could never go home to Korea if I could get it wrong. You know, well, I think, you know, this is you know, the love story is very important to this story, and it's such an odd kind of pairing, the two of us. You know, we're so very different. You know, she's kind of what I want to be, and she's such an original person, Zooey. You know, she's so different. But somehow it really works. It really works, and when she finally says she loves me, it feels like it's earned, and people understand why, and because you've seen all the spontaneous things that happen, and a lot of really spontaneous things did happen when we were together. Singing on stage at the Hollywood Bowl, all of those things, they weren't supposed to be in the movie, you know. And that's the great thing about comedy is you can play, you know, you really can play. And like the taping my face scene was just, you know, you can make all the clever jokes you want in the movie, but the one thing that really kills people is the most juvenile thing in the world, the most childish thing that just kind of makes them feel like a child again, you know? It's better than sitting on the couch. You know, I think they're going to laugh a lot, and they're going to like kind of think about something. It's not just a movie you'll forget. You know, as soon as you leave the theater, you will think about it, and it will kind of affect you. It has so far. People have been kind of saying that to me, and I was saying to the producer the other night, wouldn't it be great if everybody who sees this movie goes out and says yes to a couple of things, you know, just because of the movie? I think that's kind of great, the idea of that, you know. I wish there was a way to quantify that and see how it affects the world, you know. It'd be kind of great.
Well, I think in real life, if someone were to embrace this philosophy, there's an upside and there's a downside. And in the movie, it sort of tells a story about when he first jumps into it, he takes it to an extreme. And he literally says yes to everything. And obviously, that's not good. Part of the journey of his character is to learn to say yes more, but also to be smart enough to know when to say no. So in real life, I think that's sort of the thing, too. It's really, you know, it's not about, you know, now you have to say yes to this and answer every question with a yes. It's really about changing your attitude in a way that taking the core idea of what yes means, it's an affirmation of the positive, and it's sort of a very life-affirming answer, and hopefully sort of means that you're going to say yes to all of the things that life has to offer and not be so closed off. Well, when I first read Danny Wallace's book, I love the idea that a guy actually did this in real life. Danny really did that, and that was interesting to me. And you know, when we decided to make a movie of it, it was important that we keep the spirit of that book, the idea of a depressed guy who you know, opens his world up. But we changed a lot, you know, when we decided to set it in Los Angeles and also to write really specifically for Jim. It changed a lot of things, but we had Danny's blessing on it. And you know, Danny came to Hollywood when we were shooting the movie, and on the DVD, there's a very funny documentary of Danny's day on the set. Yeah, and it's very funny to sort of see him go around and do it. But it was, you know, it was important to sort of change specific things and come up with different comedic scenarios. But it was important to keep the basic idea intact, you know, and also the aspect that probably the most important thing that he says yes to is love. Well, I think, you know, that there is something really relatable about the basic idea, no matter what country you live in, because I think it's everybody knows somebody, or at some time actually is that person who has become a bit isolated at different times in your life. It's like you get in a rut. You go to work, and then you come home and you watch TV, and then it's time to go to bed, and you get up and you do it again, and it's easy just to fall into that pattern. And sometimes your life needs a little, shaking up. And so I think that's, what drew us all to the movie is everybody can relate to that. Oh, yeah. Well, it's, when you make a movie, there's a lot of downtime where you're just sitting around and you've rehearsed it and you're waiting for them to light. And, a lot of times an actor will sort of go off to the trailer and not be around. But Jim would always hang out on the set. And we just, sort of adopted this attitude where we were just going to try and make each other laugh the whole time. For me as a director, it's important to have a tone on the set where people are having fun, because then they become relaxed. And when an actor is relaxed, they're going to give their best performance. But yeah, you can't work with Jim and not laugh all day long.
I think that it's good to think about saying yes to more things. And if everybody could say, or at least if everybody could maybe say yes to a few more positive things, or keep a little bit more of a positive attitude, that would probably improve the world significantly. If each person did that, I think that would. But I do think it's silly to say yes to everything, because, who knows what people are going to propose. Yeah, I would describe Allison as a free-spirited, open-minded, spontaneous young woman who embodies the spirit of the philosophy that Carl is following, but naturally and without extremes. Yeah, no, it's obviously very different from the songs that I write on my own. It's like a completely different genre of music, and lyrically it had to be music that would give too much information to Carl to make him uncomfortable in the scene. So it was serving a purpose within the context of the story, so we had to make it a certain way. But it was really fun because we, had a good time thinking up the lyrics of the songs and creating a whole different style of music. It was very boring. It was so boring. I had such a terrible time. No, I'm kidding. I had such a lovely time. It was really fun. Jim is hilarious, obviously. He's also, very thoughtful and down to earth a lot of times. But then he also has this very energetic side and is able to maintain a totally inhuman level of energy on set. Which is inspiring and really great to work with, because when you're working on a film, it's long hours, and it's great to have somebody who comes to the table fully loaded every day. But also Peyton as well, another very enthusiastic person and so funny and just such a great director, very receptive to ideas, and just sort of like my ideal type of director. He's just wonderful.